Today we're going to be analyzing Goat Rock's volcano. We're going to be doing that with the Bear Creek hike. So we're going to be using this book, Hiking Washington's Geology, as a trail guide to look at the geology. Along the way, we're going to look at the roadside geology of Washington, roadside geology of Mount Rainier National Park by Patrick Pringle. So let's get to it. So we are right on the side of the road, right by mile marker 148.32, and look at this. That right there is the Goat Rocks Wilderness and the Goat Rocks. And what that is, Goat Rocks, it's an extinct volcano. That is the guts or the skeleton or what was of what used to be a volcano right here. I am on Teton Road, which is right off of Highway 12, right around Clear Lake. And got my book, Hiking Washington's Geology, and I'm looking at the side of the road here. And as stated in this book, the rocks in the vicinity of Clear Lake are some of the oldest rocks in southwestern Washington. So what we're looking at here is we are looking at both marine and volcanic rocks that accreted to the continent, and they're 100 million years old. And not only that, that is what Goat Rock's volcano was built upon. So that exotic terrain that is 100 million years old, formed from stuff that didn't originate here, is what lies under that volcano. So we are on the side of Forest Road 1204. I've got my book. And on the side of 1204, we're looking at the highest, if not one of the highest road cuts of the exotic terrain. So on the side of the road, on the way up to Bear Creek Mountain, there's an unconformity. So right here, we have 100 million year old exotic terrain, marine sedimentary rocks and or volcanic rocks that formed elsewhere, stuck to the continent roughly 100 million years ago. But up the road, I will be expecting lava flows that are 1 million years old. So there's 1 million year old rocks here, and there's 100 million year old rocks here, and there's nothing in between. That's what's known as a unconformity. So yeah, let's keep going. So here about a half mile up the road, exactly like the book says, here we have a platy lava flow from the Goat Rocks volcano. This lava flow is about 1 million years old. And the reason it has this platy structure like this is because of the cooling that happened. So it formed this way during cooling and contraction. So the contact between this 1 million year old lava flow right here and the 100 million year old exotic terrain about a mile down the road that way, geologists have not found the contact. So there lies an unconformity here, which is pretty crazy because that's about 99 million years of missing rock record, which is a lot of times. Okay, ma'am, I know. So we are on the trail, following along with the geology trail guide here. Bring bug spray. Just do it. Bring a net, bring bug spray. I don't care how toxic it is. Dog. The mosquitoes around that pond, the 3-section pond that you pull up to, crazy. So in essence, what Goat Rocks is, and I kind of already explained this a little bit, but I think the introduction paragraph to the Bear Creek Mountain hike shown here kind of says it well. On this hike, you'll see the effect of the 1980 eruption of Mount Saint Helens, which is Washington's 5th volcano, on Washington's 6th volcano, Goat Rocks. So this volcano existed here 3 million to 500,000 years ago. It was active for about 2.5 million years, and geologists think it was roughly like 10,000 feet. The cool thing that I like to look at when I think of Goat Rocks is I look at Google Maps, and if you kind of zoom in but have it to the point where you can see Washington State on Google Maps, it looks like there's just like 5 little zits, like all the other volcanoes, the white zits, whiteheads. Well, Goat Rocks is like a mini one. It's between Adams and Rainier, and you can see it. It's still prevalent on Google Maps even. That is literally, it's a former volcano, put simply. So this says, as soon as you enter the Goat Rocks Wilderness, right as you start the hike, the light-grained sandy, or the light-colored sandy ash that you will find, that's fresh Mount St. Helens ash from 1980. So that is tried and true Mount St. Helens 1980 ash. And the cool thing about this ash is it has become an integral part of the soil in this forest. And as we know, volcanic ash is very fertile. So that is a geologic process at play. You have an eruption from 1980. It deposited ash all over here. It integrated well, became a part of the soil, and now it's helping feed this forest. So right here it says, along most of the route, the trail crosses small bowls which have steep slope to the west, which would be this way, and are open to the east, which would be this way. So this fits the exact description. It also says, less vegetation than the surrounding areas, check, and have springs on their floors. So this is a small landslide scar. The weathered pyroclastics beneath the resistant andesite are weak and susceptible to mass wasting and erosion. So basically, those are weathered pyroclastics. They're weak, they're susceptible to mass wasting, or basically just like landslides and collapses. And they've collapsed through here. And now there's a spring on it with beautiful flowers that we just crossed. And this meadow that we are in, unbelievably beautiful. You see some part of the Goat Rocks volcano over there, but I'm focused on this right here. So looking down right at our feet, we see Mount St. Helens ash and just beautiful wildflowers, a whole wildflower meadow up here. God, this hike is gorgeous. So notice this creek and notice the colorful rocks in the creek. That is from explosive eruptions, and they represent volcanic clouds rolling along the ground and rising high in the atmosphere to rain ash from the sky. That is sick. So we have about a half mile to go, a few hundred more feet of elevation gain until we are at the top. But this is a kind of amphitheater. It's a hollow-shaped amphitheater cirque that we're going up. And a long time ago during glaciation, there was a cirque glacier in here that caused this half-dome amphitheater shape that we're gonna hike up to the top. Making our way up the cirque wall, the amphitheater wall. You can see it here. It's where a cirque glacier used to be. Look at these lava flows. Andesitic lava flows we're hiking past. Here's a good look at that amphitheater again. Like a nice little bowl here. Picture a massive or huge cirque glacier all throughout here. Only a little way to the top. All right. The cirque was the hard part, for sure. That was, it was especially hard with a baby. But we got it done. Hard part's over. Short little way to the summit. Woo! Woo! Here we are. there. Okay, but here is the highlight. Here is the highlight of what we're here for, Goat Rock's volcano. So, as I've previously talked about, that was a volcano active 3 million to roughly 500,000 years ago, right here in the Cascades. It's nestled between Mount Adams and Mount Rainier. Bear Creek Mountain here, what I am standing on top of right now is a piece, or a part, or a ridge at least, of that volcano. So picture this. This volcano right here, all of this, God, it's so cool to me. I don't know, it is just so fascinating to me that at this very spot used to be a volcano just like Mount Rainier, just like Mount Adams, but it was hanging out right here and it was doing its thing right here. And then roughly 500,000 years of erosion have just quietly erased the top, and now we have the base. And stratovolcanoes are made of layers of lava and ash, and you can see the guts. You can see it doing its thing right there. So you see the reddish color, and then you see the kind of grayish color. You see it. And as we stand here looking east, we see that that's exactly what we came up. We came up ridges of lava flows from Goat Rocks, roughly 1 million years old. So to sum everything up, we're standing here atop Bear Creek Mountain, which is a part of Goat Rock's volcano, which was a stratovolcano here in the Cascades 3 million to 500,000 years ago. And we have crazy views of Mount Adams and Mount Rainier.